Hello everyone and welcome back to Global Marketing Day. If you've just joined us, my name is Ross Tavendale and I'm the Managing Director of Type A Media. Just to give you a little bit of backstory about what Global Marketing Day is, we have experts from all around the world, from Sydney to San Francisco to New York, and today, as you're seeing it live, from London. The format's really interesting, dynamic, so we're getting some speakers to do 30-minute shorts, and then we're getting roundtable discussions with a bunch of experts as well, which brings me to who we have here. We have Liron Smadja here from Fiverr. You're the marketing director at Fiverr, so that's quite a big role to be dealing with. You're focusing on Fiverr's strategic approach for international expansion. You've been there for 7 years, so you were in right at the start, from like small startup to now you're a publicly traded company, so you're doing quarterly earnings and all that stuff every month. That's some very, very big stuff.
Yeah, big changes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also joined by two special guests here. To my left, we have Kevin Givens. He's the CEO at ReSignal. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Fantastic. And we've also got Stephen Kenwright, who's the technical director at Rise at 7. Stephen, how you doing?
I'm really good, Ross. Yourself?
I'm absolutely fantastic. All right, so we want to kind of get straight into it and start discussing some kind of practical tips and things like that. So, Liron, I want to just go straight over to you and ask you to kind of take it away.
Sure. So I got to say, when I go to presentations, I'm always looking for what the presenters share, what tools they use, what resources they have. So I thought, if I've only got 15 minutes, let me try get 30 done in 15 minutes, and hopefully you'll learn something new. I'm going to share this on my LinkedIn page afterwards because I'm going to go through it quite fast and may skim through many things. So if anyone wants to go through it in more detail, it will be there. Okay. Ready? We'll start. So let's start with market research. You know, we spend a lot of time looking at our competition, looking at how we're going to position ourselves. So here are a few things that I use for that. Some of them you use, and hopefully I'll show you new ways to use it. Okay, Google Trends, everyone knows it, everyone uses it. I use it for two main reasons. One, when we work with brand partners and when we work with celebrities and influencers, I use it to help me decide which personality to work with, so who is trending more in a particular time. And also, because we're currently going through a lot of global expansion, it helps me understand what local consumers are like and how they think. So I use it a lot. Reddit call themselves the front page of the internet. I'm on Reddit way too much. So if you don't know what Reddit is, I recommend you start learning. It's made up of subreddits, which are niche forums in every category. So if you're starting a new company, I recommend you start your research at Reddit. The search in Reddit isn't great, so I would start in Google and just search if you're creating a water bottle company, water bottle, Reddit, search in Google, and you'll get some great things. There's also good communities there to share insights and learn, and marketing is a massive one. There's other niche ones, so check it out. Okay, Amazon customer reviews have a bad reputation, but I love it, and especially if you're doing a consumer good product, I would start here too. I typed in water bottle as that will be our theme for the day, and a lot of reviews were saying that the seals are bad and that it gets moldy a lot. And if I was building a product that was a water bottle, I would start by focusing on those two features, and then I would put that in my positioning, branding, messaging, like straight spotlight that. So definitely start on Amazon and work backwards. Product Hunt. It's a page where companies go to launch new products. It's voted up, and the most popular new products launched that day are at the top of the page. I use it to keep up with industry trends, and I also use it to launch new products. So definitely see what competition's out there and what your competition are doing. Google Alerts, I know everyone uses it, but if you're a freelancer, I recommend adding your companies there and being able to identify with your companies, show them that you care, celebrate the highs and lows, and know what's happening. Last one here, we've got FAQ Fox. This is a nice tool, pretty simple. So you put in your keywords, which would be water bottles in our example. You put a bunch of websites and it pulls questions that the internet are asking from those websites about the product. So if you want to start building a new product, I would start looking what people are asking already and then work backwards. You can use that for content building. You can use that for market research and also for your FAQ page on your website. Okay, design. Design's been accessible to the public for a few years now. Here are some of what I think are the best tools for that. Canva.com, Australian company, drag and drop templates, free to use, and then there's paid for new templates and designs. You can do everything from presentations, social posts, animations, infographics, everything. I recommend everyone uses it, especially if you have no background, it's super easy. Unsplash, become a lot more popular in recent years. This is a great stock photo website. It's completely free for commercial use. They just ask that you credit the photographer. And you won't see much of that, people in suits in like a sterile office laughing at a laptop. It's a lot more kind of artistic, beautiful photos. It's great. Okay, Humans is another free tool. It's literally just illustrations of people. You can mix and match and create it yourself, so you can choose different faces, bodies, feet, and then use that however you want. So if you're looking for cool illustrations, that's it. Another one is DrawKit. Another cool tool for free illustrations, completely commercial free. You can customize them. It's not the widest range, but they're beautiful. The Noun project has been running for a while. This is a mass collaboration of designers submitting icons under lots of different words and themes, and the website categorizes it. So in this example, I search for light bulb, and over here you can see a few from the 1,377 other light bulbs icons that you can find, so every design that you need. Emotypes, very simple, but a very cool idea. If you're looking to convey a specific type of emotion on your website and relate back to what your brand stands for, it takes the free fonts that we all know from Word and classifies it under different emotions. So if you want to convey confidence, this is what fonts you should use. If you want to convey friendliness, this is what you should use. And it's pretty simple, but a cute tool. Animaticons is a GIF icon site, so it's paid and free. Depends on which icons you go for. So moving icons generally draw more attention if you're trying to put your attention to a specific part of your page or as a profile picture. So check it out. You can also customize it. Mixkit is like Unsplash but video, so free for commercial rights. HD video, great stuff there. And then cover.co, if you are looking for a video banner on your website, they have a library. It's completely free also. It's great quality. I recommend it. Okay, education, you're going to have to excuse some shameless plugs here, but e-learning sites are everywhere. Every company has, SEMrush have a great education videos also. Fiverr launched a year ago, learn.fiverr.com. It's our own e-learning platform. We handpick all of the course givers, and here's a promo code. I'll leave that on for a second. 50%
Shameless.
There's some more shameless ones coming up. Okay, Online Geniuses. This is a great Slack group, about 20,000 marketers. David, the founder, is out of New York and is speaking later today. You have to apply to get in, but once you're in, it's a great way to ask for advice and educate yourself through learning with your colleagues and peers in the same space. Okay, here's some things that I use to help me work better, faster. I've got to start with Fiverr. So Fiverr's a marketplace for freelancer services. You can find any freelancer in 150 plus categories. So if you need design, if you need a copywriter, if you need video made, consulting, it's all there. So I won't hop on that. And then also Fiverr Pro is our hand-selected freelancer service. So every freelancer there has been handpicked and gone through quite a rigorous vetting process. I would say if you're a freelancer, it's worth checking out, and there's a promo code for 20% off your first order. Last shameless plug, but the great tool for freelancers is Anko. It's another Fiverr tool. It's a back office for freelancers, so generally when you freelance, you want to focus on the work that you do, and this helps you give contracts, manage your project's time, invoice, quotes, all of it. So check it out. Another promo code over there. Okay, moving on. Thanks for bearing with me through that, but they're great tools, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't think so. So oftentimes, if you're working in a company, and you're working in marketing, dev resources are very hard to come across. It's one of the biggest struggles. Also, if you're a startup, and so it's hard and it can be expensive. So here are two well-known drag and drop website builders. Use it for your site, but also use it for campaigns that you're running and events that you're hosting. Wix is great, has a massive app store. Squarespace isn't as robust, but I think looks a bit better. Unbounce is great landing page builder and tester site. So it is paid. It is awesome. We've been using it for a while, and I'm a big fan of it. Also drag and drop, easy to change things, easy to A/B test. Recommended. Wistia is a video hosting platform. So oftentimes we put videos on our sites, but we'll embed it from YouTube, and then you get ads from other brands popping up on your site. Mixes up the message a bit. You can do Vimeo, but Vimeo isn't so customizable. Wistia is completely customizable. You can change the colors, fonts, you can do some live streaming stuff, so check it out. And then Typeform. If you're doing surveys or engaging with your community, I think this is the most human surveying tool out there. The interface is beautiful. It's easy to put together, and I really recommend it. IconSquare is just a great analytics tool for Instagram specifically. I know they've branched out to other social channels, but they started with Instagram. I think they're one of the best. And then this is a nice tool from CoSchedule. It's a headline analyzer. So you put in your headline, it gives it a mark out of 100, and it tells you how engaging they think it is, and looks at a bunch of qualities, and then gives recommendations. If you're putting together content or press release, I recommend going to ourworldindata.org. This is free research that you can use to give more meat to your content. So it often helps just shape it by looking at the macrocosm, and then you can go into, take this research and put it into your whatever it is that you're doing. So check it out. We'll end with two things. For inspiration, look, inspiration's everywhere, and I could only put in two. So this is what I see right in the beginning of my day. It has a Chrome plugin that I use, so it's my home screen. It's Muesli by InVision, and it just curates some of the best design out there, products, web design, graphic design. So it helps me just stay kind of inspired, and if I'm feeling like I need a bit of energy boost, I'll come on and just look what else is out there. And let's end with HubSpot's blog ideas generator. So you put in one word, which will be water bottles, for example. You'll click add, and it will bring you a list of great blog post titles, and from there you can start maybe sparking new ways of thinking about your product and how to talk about it. So free tool, simple but fun. Thank you very much. This is an Unsplash photo, and I've credited the photographer at the bottom. Again, I'll put this on LinkedIn, and I'd love to hear your tools also. So let me know, and I can make a more comprehensive list and share that out also.
That was fantastic, Liron. I don't know about you guys, but after that, I think, should we just sack this off and just go and start a water bottle company right now? That was that was a lot of information. That's amazing. I loved your Google Trends and your Amazon Insights thing as well. An interesting one actually for people watching at home. If you go to Google and Google men's hair removal cream Amazon and look at the comments there.
Oh, it's hilarious.
That's some market market research right there. So you guys have went from like very small to absolutely astronomical in the space of like 7 years. I imagine your marketing budgets have changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you were to take you back 7 years ago,
yeah.
What are you doing? What's your one core thing when you were a bit skint, but you still had to have big results?
So we were always doing performance marketing in the digital space. Did everything besides for that, and I was literally knocking on doors and going to colleges, finding good freelancers in art schools, getting in wherever we can. We call it, we were running on the hamster wheel, because we were all literally just running all day and picking up the phone, sending emails, and trying to sell the services.
That's amazing. So the startup to scale up thing I find is fascinating. Just to point to you, Stephen, so you guys, would you call your agency like a scale up now? Because you guys are doing that hockey stick growth thing at the moment, right?
Yeah, but we are only 4 months old, to be fair. So
you're doing well for 4 months. So what are you guys doing to, you're generating a lot of noise in the industry. What are the core things that you're kind of focusing on? And for those out there, if they were in your position, what would you tell them? These are the things you want to be looking at to grow your business.
I think it's all about momentum, generally speaking, but we're not yet in that position where we've got a really good SEO momentum behind us, right? So we've just started ranking for things, and we're not ranking competitively for a lot of things that we would like to. So we have to fill in those gaps, and the way that we do that is two things really: social and events. Social media particularly is probably our biggest source of leads. That's Twitter to a degree, but LinkedIn especially, and we don't do any paid advertising whatsoever. It's literally just individual profiles, company profiles, don't do anywhere near as well as individual, just sharing what we know, basically. That's the biggest source of leads. And then events, again, we don't generally pay for events. We do a lot of free ones ourselves and just throw on some food, some beers, and hope people turn up, and so far they have been doing, so that's good.
It's amazing what people will do for a slice of pizza and a free beer. I'd love you to touch on, there's a bit of a case study that came out of your agency recently where you all dressed up in random ASOS stuff. Can you maybe talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, it came out of a pitch a little while ago. So we got an inquiry from Missguided, and we thought, what would Missguided like to see for us to kind of differentiate ourselves here? And we were at the time a 2-month-old agency, so we're kind of thinking, what could we do to show that we are serious about this? So we did a PR campaign, just took some data on influencer marketing just from eMarketer and applied it to the Love Island cast, and just said how much each one could make outside of Love Island just from selling Instagram posts.
Right.
Which went on 35, 40 publications, and my co-founder Carrie got interviewed on the BBC News and that sort of thing. And then out of that as well, one of our staff, a girl called Thea Chippendale, had an incident with ASOS. Incident's probably the wrong word, but she was on Tinder a little while ago. I'm sure she won't mind me saying. But
Tinder? What's that? I've never heard of that.
It's a good source of market research. Anyway, she was on Tinder a little while ago, and she got some really horrific kind of comments from a bunch of guys, particularly around the dress that she was wearing. ASOS jumped on that and said, we think you look fantastic. Clearly she does. She's now the model on the ASOS landing page.
Wow.
And we thought, I wonder if a lot of these products are real or not, that they kind of they do this a lot. If you look at where ASOS get their links, it's all sorts of really weird stunts and just jumping on the back of social noise that ASOS already are generating.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. So the controversy can be a challenging one to deal with, but just I suppose it kind of starts with an interesting concept and building it up from there. So when you're onboarding clients into your agency, Kevin, so you're the complete opposite side where it's much more mature businesses that you're dealing with typically. What's the process there, and what typically would you be talking to them when they come in the door?
Normally it's just trying to understand as much as we can from their perspective in terms of goals, objectives, and what it is that they're trying to achieve. And the more that we can align ourselves with that, the better, because then we can form a strategy that essentially is there to make them look good. So the more that we can understand about the current trends in the market, what's happening, and again, this is where the tools are really useful, because we can see, okay, well, this is where you are currently, but certainly with SEO, it's not a case of if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll end up here, because everything is a moving target. Yeah. Everyone else is competing against you. But it's really trying to set expectations on.
So if I was your nightmare client, and I'm going to ask this to all of you, right? I'll come in and I'll be like, right, guys, how do I 10x my traffic? And I've got a year to do it. Mm-hmm. where would you even begin? And I know the classic answer for SEO people is, it depends. Where would you point me?
I would point you in terms of
Out the door.
But it does depend on what's the potential. If you're market leaders and you want a 10x, where are you going to go? So then it's okay. Well, how do you go into a new market? How do you do something different? Whereas actually, if you're a startup and you want to go 10x, it's like there is the market potential to achieve that. It doesn't mean that you can do it immediately within 12 months, and it would take investment to do that. But I always look at what's the market opportunity. Is it what's realistic in terms of where you can get to, and then break it down. If there is a blow the doors off style option, it's going to cost some money to get them there. If that's what they want to go for, then great. But you still need a bit of a realistic expectation setting behind it as well. But I don't think there's any harm in having that ambition. It's just to make it from being a wish into a plan, you've got to understand where you're going to take that market share away from.
Absolutely. What about yourself? So we come to you and we're like, right, 10x me. What are you going to do?
I think it does depend.
After you
but
stop
the thing
laughing.
it depends on is where you are as a business in terms of, how established your website is. If we work with a lot of kind of high street retailers and banks and so on, and if you've got a very established website, probably technical fixes tend to be the most cost-effective and growth positive way of doing anything. And then if you're kind of like a normal retailer, generally speaking, on-site content is probably the thing that you're lacking most and is probably the most useful way of doing anything. But if you're a startup and you're brand new, it's links.
Nice, I like that. It's links if you're a startup. And what were you later? So like when you guys were building it at the start, what was there one core thing that you're like, oh, that was the growth there?
We nailed it down to a few key kind of press moments that helped us have the growth. And I think you can nail it down to that. We also made some like bold decisions in branding moves, and I think you have to stand out. I'm a branding guy, so I would always say take a risk and do something that your competitors aren't doing, and make sure that you've built up the support to make sure that people see what you're doing. So be bold.
Be bold. I like that a lot. Like the being bold thing, just to kind of encapsulate that kind of turns into a little bit of branding, I suppose, because then you're defining who you're going to be and moving into a particular direction. We've actually got some audience questions. Some guys have came in asking, so it's a very Fiverr-based question.
Okay.
So this person has worked their way up to level 2 seller. Do you want to tell us what that is first?
Sure. So as you start to sell as a freelancer on Fiverr, the more you sell, the better you respond to customers. The quality of your work will raise you up in levels. So you start off, you can become level 1, level 2, and a top-rated seller.
So outside of being bold, how would they then get from that level to the next? And this might be interesting for you guys, because I imagine you also work with freelancers quite a bit. So how would you take yourself from inside of Fiverr level 2 to somewhere higher, but maybe in general, like as a freelancer to get yourself to the next level?
It kind of like, as it is on Fiverr, it's the same in the real world also. Like, look at what people see when they come to you. So this is an online marketplace. If you have a face and a video of you talking and letting your potential clients know what you offer, you already put a human side to you on that can increase sales, which will then increase your level. Same if you're a freelancer and putting yourself out there, you're selling yourself essentially. So you need to put that front and center. Yes, you got your work, you got your portfolio, you got your experience, but how you're packaging that up into something that the clients will see and relate to, it's pretty much the same at Fiverr.
That makes a ton of sense. Like, so do you ever work with freelancers? And if you guys do, like, what do you look for, and how can you tell if they're a good one or a bad one? And for the people watching at home, so it sounds like a lot of the audience are in fact freelancers. Like, what would your advice be for them to help them run their kind of freelancing gigs?
I generally look for personal recommendations. We tend to use the same freelancers over and over again, and we would definitely ask our friends, who do you use if you need any of those things done. So I guess, when me and Kev, for example, run pretty similar agencies in a lot of ways, if we had a requirement, I would look to someone like Kev and ask, how do you get that thing done? Can you recommend anyone?
Makes a lot of sense. We actually modelled a lot of our stuff at Type A Media on Kevin's original blueprint. Should be in the industry for a little while, eh?
A few years. Yeah.
So when you look for people, what do you look for?
Yeah, similar. Like if it's a word of mouth recommendation, a lot of the freelancers we work, certainly on say the SEO consultancy side, are people that I've worked with before. And if I know that they're good, we know that we can trust their kind of quality and experience. If it's on the design side, sometimes we might try new people out. Let's say we need an illustration or something that we haven't quite done before, actually tapping into someone new so we don't necessarily go stale and just create the same content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's good to keep freshening that up, but you might want to trial a few people alongside the tried and tested so that you can see what else you could be doing to keep innovating.
Makes sense. So you're trialing multiple people at the same time on a project so that it's kind of fail-safe, right? And you're picking the best of the bunch. And you've also got people to compare work against?
Yeah, normally it would be tried and tested, but alongside that we might have a few projects that let's try something new, or let's go for something a bit different here. So that we can always keep building that database out as well.
That makes a ton of sense. There's some more questions have actually just come in. We're going to wrap up in a second, but one of the things that people have been asking in the chat is, you guys are all running companies and you're obviously like going 16, I'm sure you don't work 16 hours a day, that would be ridiculous, but long hours. Do you have like apps or anything you do to keep productive and keep your workflow kind of streamlined? So you give us a kind of short answer to that.
I use Evernote. I mean, I love Evernote, and I use it to schedule my day and how it syncs between my phone and my laptop. So I mean, that's how I keep my to-do list and my day scheduled.
Excellent.
I'm a big fan of the Eisenhower matrix. So urgent versus important. If it's urgent and important, I'll do it. If it's urgent, not important, I'll delegate it. If it's not urgent and it's not important, I'll literally just get rid of that and just don't do it at all. And there is a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I bet. Excellent.
I feel like I could go on for about an hour on the stuff I've tried for this, and I've kind of in some ways gone back and round in circles. My latest thing, very technologically advanced, I have a frog that sits on my desk, and it's there because of the concept of eat that frog. And it's the stuff that the hardest thing to do, the most important thing to do it first, do it in the morning, and then once you've got that out of the way, you can get on with all of the stuff that you might enjoy more and want to do. But it keeps looking at me and makes me feel guilty if I don't do that thing that I know I should be doing for a while. So that's actually been one of the more effective things recently.
Eat that frog.
Costs about £3.
Well, there you have it. Eat that frog is the core takeaway from today's presentation. So I'd just like to thank all you guys for joining us again. Liron Smadja, the Marketing Director at Fiverr, Kevin Gibbons, the CEO of Resignal, and of course Stephen Kenwright, the Technical Director at Rise at 7. Thank you everyone for joining us. So do you have any thoughts on what we just spoke about? We'd love to hear more from you in the comments. If you'd like to get involved on Twitter, you can use the hashtag Global Marketing Day, and we'll see you right back here for the next presentation shortly.